Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. Matt Gutierrez, Ibrahim Ahmed.
Yes, it's me. I'm here.
We're trying something a little more professional today.
This is a proper setup. The beautiful
Yeah.
curtains in the back, which makes our faces look even more handsome.
Don't know how it's possible, but it happened.
Yeah, well, something is possible.
Some things are possible.
Some things
Some
are.
things are possible.
What else has changed? The angles are changed.
Yeah.
Your desk
Quant has a desk.
behind the cameras.
Our point is, our podcast is coming together, guys.
Finally,
It's coming together. We're coming for you, Rogan.
We've been doing this now for 5 months.
Yeah.
41st episode. This is our 41st
41st
episode.
41st, yeah.
41st episode. We've surpassed all the episodes that we did prior.
Oh,
to this.
yeah. And that was 2.5
37.
years worth.
Yeah, 37. No, well, 2 years.
And we've done it in 5 months.
5 months we did 41
Yeah,
41
there we go.
episodes. 2 episodes a week, and we have not missed a single week. Thank God.
Consistency.
Consistency, which
Yes.
brings us to the topic of today's discussion.
Yes.
How to get over hard times. How do you do it?
How do you get over hard times? I think it depends what the hard times consist of.
Okay, so for some context,
Yeah.
I've become the research guy on this podcast.
You have been the research guy.
Pew Research Center did a study,
Okay.
and they found that 41% of Americans no longer believe the American dream is possible for them.
41%.
41% of Americans. And you know what's interesting? If you look at the age demographic of this study, they had about 8,500 participants. And if
Okay.
you break it down by age, the more older you got, the more you still believed in the American dream. So the 18 to 29-year-old demographic, almost 55 to 60% of them do not believe the American dream is still possible for them.
55 to 60% of
Americans,
young folks,
yes.
basically, don't believe in the American dream.
So, yeah, Gen Z.
I think it's because they haven't been through true hard times yet. I think the older generation, they believe in it more because they have more societal context, more cultural context, right? The older you are, more likely is you're going to have interacted with more people, more cultures, higher classes, lower classes, and you're able to realize, hey, America is probably the place where we have the most opportunity in this world, right? I mean, off the top of your head, can you think of somewhere that you think you could have more opportunity in?
No, America is the only country in the world.
Yeah. Unless you want to be
With-
corrupt.
Well, the thing is, there's still some people who don't have equal access to opportunity. There are some,
Okay.
but the vast, overwhelming majority of people have equal opportunity. And even the ones that don't have equal opportunity,
Yeah.
they have to work harder. True, but it's still possible.
It's still possible.
It's still possible.
Anybody that wants to make money here, you can make money. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, money you can make,
Yeah.
but the thing is, how do you get over the hard times? You know,
That's
the
obviously
question.
the hard part.
You can make
Yeah.
money by
Yeah.
not getting over any of the hard times. You could use money
Yeah.
as an addiction. Just chase
can.
money and avoid the hard problems that you face. So I don't think it's the money, right?
So it's getting over the hard times to become successful, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you get over the hard times so the American dream is still accessible to you?
You have to build character and you have to have grit. I think that those are the two bottom line. You have to have grit and you have to how do you get grit though? You have to go through hard times in order to get grit. And how do you get by those hard times is just going through it. I mean, I think you just have to remember that hard times don't last forever. And I think we've talked about this before, right? For every valley, there's always going to be a mountain peak. And so when you're in that valley, just remember, keep trudging, and then you'll hit that peak one day.
I think the most important quality to have
Yeah.
to overcome hard times is faith. And
Having
that
faith.
faith is twofold. Faith in yourself
Mm.
and then faith in something bigger than yourself. Specifically faith in God, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like once you believe in yourself, I don't think that's enough. Because if you combine that with faith in God,
Mm.
in a higher being, that gives you the ability to have consistency and to be able to embrace the hard times. Because a lot of people, when they get trapped in hard times, they start blaming things. They start blaming people around them.
Yeah.
And they give people around them so much power that they forget they have ownership over their problems.
Right.
And there's something bigger than themselves, the creator of all the universes, that is creating these obstacles and challenges in this person's life so that they can learn.
You're right.
So they're there
Yeah.
for a precise reason. It's
Yeah.
not your mom's fault or your dad's fault or
Yeah.
your friend's fault or your partner's fault. It has to do with something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And the whole challenge is, yes, the hard times are there for you to grow and learn.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't recognize that.
And that's what builds character, right?
That's what builds character.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody goes through hard times. It's just it's dependent on your circumstances. Some things may seem not as big to some people, and some things are way bigger than others, right? It just depends on who you are. I mean, honestly, it comes down to luck. You could have been grown up with a more successful family, more affluent family, and your problems aren't so hard, or you could have been born into a shit family. It just the reality of it, right? Your mom could be a drug addict, your dad can be in jail, and you have to go through adversity and teach yourself lessons and teach yourself, hey, how do I get out of this hole? And it sucks, but the reality is it happens. That's life.
The interesting thing in the example you just mentioned
Yeah.
is the kid who was born into a rich family,
Mm-hmm.
he's still going through problems.
He's still going through
And
problems.
he's still going through hard times.
Yeah.
They're just different types of hard times. The thing is,
Yes.
once you're rich, it doesn't mean your problems are gone.
No, they're
It's
still
just
there.
the type of problems that
Yeah.
you will encounter will be completely different
Yeah.
than that of somebody who doesn't come from a wealthy background.
Right. And so, especially, I think this is for people that come from affluent families and they still feel like their problems are big, and they might be big, right? Just because your parents are rich or they have some success doesn't mean that they're perfect or that you have perfect friends or you
Yeah.
live a perfect life. I think it's just important to remember to be humble. Like, look at your circumstance and realize you could be in a much worse position oftentimes, right? I mean, money isn't everything, but money helps a lot, right? And if you're able to have money or able to be in a position where you don't have to worry about that, the other problems, they naturally become easier. Would you agree? Now that you're an adult, and not that we're rich at any sense at all, right? But you don't have to worry about, like, when we go out. Remember in high school,
Yeah.
we would go out to eat, and we
Yeah.
would be like, we don't even we wouldn't want to tell each other either. But it's
Yeah.
like we would go get the dollar menu at McDonald's or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
We'd get the Caniac memberships.
Yes.
We'd sign up with
Yes.
emails.
Sorry, Canes, but we were one of those
Hold on.
folks.
Don't say we.
Well, I'm letting
Yeah,
everybody
man.
know.
Spending like
Yeah.
$10 for a meal
was a lot.
like 50% of our net worth
Yeah,
at
yeah,
times.
yeah.
I was like, wait, that's half the
Yeah,
money
yeah.
I have. It's gone, and after this meal, so
Dude,
Yeah.
Quick anecdote. I remember one time I was on a date. And I was going to Krispy Kreme, and I had like an allowance. I think it was like $40 a week or something like that. And I have a truck, and gas isn't cheap in a truck, and so I put like 30 or $40 in there or something. And I get to Krispy Kreme, I'm like, I go into my account to see if I can afford like a dozen, which is like, I think it was like $10 at the time. And I had nothing, dude. I had $2 in my account.
oh man. So what
And
did you do?
so I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, I was like, please. I was like, can you send me something? And he's like, yeah, I'll send it. I'm inside now. I'm looking at my account, nothing. I'm in line now. I look at my account, nothing. I get out of line. My date is in line. And I go out of line. I'm like, Dad, I'm in line. I literally have nothing. My card's going to decline. And I'm back in line. And he's like, no, and he's like, don't worry. I got it. Doesn't send me shit, dude. Like literally, bro, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this right now because we're already ordering. We're at the point in
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme line. We're ordering the donuts, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, dude. And he ended up sending it, whatever. It was like $20, and he sent it. But
Took him forever.
that's not the point, dude. Like, not having money in your account creates insecurities, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you have to worry about certain things that
Yeah.
Like, nobody should have to worry about spending $10 on donuts. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the reality. If you want donuts for $10, go buy it.
Unless you have diabetes.
Unless
You
you have
sugar
diabetes.
addiction, then you. in
Unless
my
you're
case,
obese.
Sugar addiction,
yeah.
you know.
Unless you have sugar diabetes or you're obese.
The
But,
thing in that
yeah.
example, though, I like that example because you need to go through those times.
Yeah, bro.
Because then you're like, oh my God, every single dollar that I have matters.
Matters.
Because when you have like, once you get like 5 zeros in your
Yeah.
bank account, you start to think, oh,
Yeah.
this is endless. And $1, I could
Yeah.
spend this every single day for the rest of my life, which you can. I mean, technically, if
you can.
But
Well,
but
no, I disagree.
but still, like
Yeah.
it just gives you an appreciation
Going through the hard times give you appreciation for money.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. And you need to go through those times.
Yeah.
You need to. Even if you're rich.
Yes.
If you're rich, your parents need to put you through those times.
It sucks in the moment,
Yeah.
but once you're past that moment and then you start making some money and you start building, there's like a weight that's lifted off of your shoulders, right? I mean, and realistically, dude, like even now we still live at home, right? But we're able to still work for ourselves and create our own money, right? We're able to pay for bills now at home, and it's like, for some reason, dude, once you have some money in your account and you're able to just do things when you want to do them, it makes you feel some relief, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the whole point in this is money is important. And so if you do have somewhere your parents have disposable money and you have set allowances and you get a few $100 a week or $1,000 a week, whatever some of these kids get, you're going to have other problems, but just realize your problems are not as big. You don't have to worry about eating. You don't have to worry about going on a date with a girl and being embarrassed if your card declines, right? You don't have to worry about these things.
Yeah. Those are like the foundations of surviving.
100%.
Food, shelter, roof over your head. These are important things. Another thing about hard times that I think myself included, have failed to recognize at times is hard times don't have a deadline. Like, they can be overcome the more you work at them.
Yeah.
But they're not short term, meaning that a lot of people think they're going through a tough time and they're like, okay, fine, this will be like a day or 2 days. But sometimes that hard time can last through years.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean your life is a complete failure. If you're going through a hard time and you keep getting stuck, you're only making like small progress.
Yeah.
Any progress is good progress. You know, for example, like I started playing cricket again 2 months ago. Seriously, started playing cricket again 2 months ago. I started playing cricket because the T20 Cricket World Cup was conducted in America.
Okay.
America has a cricket team, and one of the guys playing in the cricket team is a fast bowler, which I am. I'm a fast bowler. He works for Oracle full time, bro.
Right.
He works for Oracle full time. And luckily, Oracle has like unlimited PTO. So he was on his PTO playing the World Cup.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, this guy can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. He's 32. He's older than me. We have the same. I have more of an athletic body than him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably faster than him. But this guy is playing for the American cricket team. And he was actually a cricket player in India. He was playing for the under-19 cricket team. He quit cricket when he moved to America. And then somehow he picked it back up, and he was like, the stars aligned and things happened. And my sister and I were talking about this. She has this theory, which I agree with, but something I disagree. She says, when you love something, the universe conspires itself together to make it happen for you. I don't think it's the universe. I think it's God. If you really want something, God will put people and things in your life that will make things happen for you if you truly want something.
That's a principle from there's 2 books, The Secret, and the second principle. The Secret and Think and Grow Rich. And same concept. They say they don't know what it is. They don't know if it's God, entity, or God, universe. Yeah. I understand, but it's really the truth. If you put all your energy into something, it's going to work out. That's just how life works. And if it doesn't, it's because you gave up, right?
It's only failure is only realized or not achieved, but you reach a point of failure only when you stop at something.
Yes.
It's not failure if you keep at it.
That is an achievement in a way.
Yeah, if you keep at it. I have
no achievement of failure. I mean, if you fail, that's an achievement. Not a great achievement, but it is.
Well, if the thing is, in my
a
lot of great leaders and successful people have said this, it's only failing if you quit.
Right.
I don't think that's an achievement, though. If you quit something, because you quit.
No. Quitting is not, but achievement is the result. We're both getting calls right now.
Yeah.
Achievement is the result of continuous acts, whether good or bad, right? And your achievement could be nothing. You could have dirt to your name, right? But in some way, that's an achievement because that's the result of all your acts put together. If your acts are consistently bowling, consistently going out and playing cricket every day and playing 8 hours a day like Kobe Bryant in basketball, then potentially you might be the Kobe of cricket.
Kobe, the thing is, though, Kobe sacrificed sleep, which I don't know how he did that. He was like he used to sleep on the basketball court, which
Yeah.
I don't know how he did. Just mama mentality. It worked for him. Whatever he did worked for him.
Yeah.
Because in his
Doesn't work
last
for
game,
everybody.
he dropped 60 points.
That's
last
insane.
game. That's wild.
That is insane, dude.
6-0, bro.
I just listened to the podcast with PBD and Kobe,
yeah.
and speaking of sleep, he said that there was nights, man, when he had daughters, right?
Yes.
He did not sleep, and he still showed up the next day, and he still put points up on the board.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
don't know how he does that. I need sleep, bro. I
Yeah.
need 8 hours. I can't
Yeah.
survive without 8 hours.
How do you feel when you don't sleep?
Just
Like sluggish?
sluggish. I feel like wanting to sleep. I'm
Like you
yawning
wanna
a lot.
sleep.
I'm yawning a
Yeah.
lot. I'm just like, I don't feel motivated. Sleep is
Mm.
necessary. 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Find the number for you, because for some people it might be 7.
Yeah.
For 6, I've tested this out. Like whenever I get exactly 8 hours of sleep, I'm perfect.
Mm.
If I get like 10, I'm not perfect. Like if I get over
Yeah.
sleep, it's not good for me either. There is
I-
a
yeah,
precise
there
number.
is a
Research
precise-
has
yeah.
proven this as well.
I agree. If I get more than 8, dude, I'm like sluggish. If I get under, I'm like, But 7 to 8's pretty good for me.
But to your point
Yeah.
about failure, and look, I failure is a blessing.
Yeah.
So long as you plan to power through and not quit, it's a blessing, and it's a chance at self-reflection.
Mm.
It's the incentive for redemption. Like it's supposed to motivate you.
Yeah.
Like for example, like I did so bad in my cricket game a week ago.
Mhm.
When my bowling was terrible. And I was like, how am I ever gonna get through this? This
Yeah.
is club cricket. This is not even professional cricket. I want to play professional cricket,
Yeah.
and I can't bowl well with for these like amateurs. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get through this. So
Yeah.
I was like, after the game, I went back to the gym, stretched like David Goggins for 8 hours.
8 hours.
No, not 8 hours. I don't know how he stretches for 8 hours for 3 years straight.
I don't know, dude.
But the thing is, I was like, okay, I had a bad game.
yeah.
I could have just went home and sulked and be like, oh, I'm never gonna make it, or just
Right.
watch cricket videos and just live other people,
yeah.
live vicariously through them. And I went to the gym, I stretched, I worked out, I came back, and then I was like, okay, this is okay.
Yeah.
And the next day, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And the thing is,
yeah.
anything that takes time is just more profound and successful. Like it's
Mm.
supposed to take a long time to achieve mastery at something.
Anything worthwhile
Yes.
is deserving of time,
yes.
right? That's what
Yes.
it is.
Even in stand up, right?
Yeah.
Or entrepreneurship, the
Yeah.
more years you put in,
Yeah.
the more avenues of experience you get, the more
Yeah.
people you meet, the more your skills are nourished.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. Everybody needs failure. You need failure in order to succeed. That's just the way it is. If you don't have failure in life, likeliness is you're probably not going to be successful, unless somebody is there hand feeding you, right? But if you do not fail, you're not gonna have the mindset in order to succeed. You need it's insane, dude. But the hard times are like probably the most important thing when you're succeeding in life, because you're able to look back at those hard times and realize what you did in order to get to this point. And if you had gone through hard time, like for example, your cricket career, right? It started about 2 months ago. Very short-lived so far. Very short-lived.
2 months ago.
2 months.
I'm a baby.
It's the reality.
I'm an infant. I
Exactly.
can barely talk.
6 years, 7 years, then we'll have a different conversation, right?
Right.
That's the point, dude. If you don't get through these next 5 to 7 years,
Yeah.
you can't even say you had a cricket career. It was a hobby, right?
Yeah.
It was a hobby.
Then it becomes a hobby. Yeah.
It's same thing with business, man. Same thing with this podcast. I mean, we're still infants in this podcast.
Yeah.
We are 5 months. Well, technically, we're not 5 months in, but
Yeah.
really, reality, where we took it serious. We got the studio. We got the equipment. We're 5 months in.
Yeah.
We're babies. We can't even really speak on this as yet, right? But we know that it's going to take 5 years.
Yeah. Maybe more.
Maybe more. Probably more.
Probably more.
Probably more. A lot of podcasters didn't pick up until 7 years, 8 years, right? And that's the reality of it.
Joe Rogan got big in 2 years though.
No, he did not.
He did.
No, he did
No,
not.
listen, no, not huge like this. So I was watching a podcast of him with Sagar and Jetty and Crystal Ball. These are 2 journalists, and they
Okay.
interviewed him 3 years ago. And they asked him, Joe, when was the first time when you realized your podcast was like people were listening? He was like, went to a sold out show in some city,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked the people, how many of you watched the podcast? And the whole theater went like, yeah.
Really?
It's 2011, 2 years or 3
After,
years
yeah.
after, and he was like, oh my God, people are listening. So that's when he realized, like, oh my God, I have an audience.
Wow.
But yeah, it did take him. you know, like a decade to get a Spotify deal with hundreds of millions of dollars. That took time.
Right.
Yeah.
That takes
but
time.
that initial audience he did have in 2 to 3 years.
That's insane. Well, he is Joe Rogan, right?
He was even then he was, you know, a successful
Even,
sitcom actor, MMA commentator,
right.
stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even Call Her Daddy, right? They were already, they had names, so Sophia Franklin and
I'd give Alex Cooper the credit though. Like she took it to another level.
for sure. $100 million deal.
They had Barstool in the beginning.
Yes.
But Alex Cooper really made that podcast.
Of course. Even Joe Rogan, bro. Even though he was a stand-up comedian, to get to $100 million contract, you have to be a different type of person, right? But they did have platforms, right? Nelk had platforms. PBD had he has, I think PBD has like 60,000 people under him that probably listen to his podcast, right? Because he has an insurance company, and all these guys are, they love PBD, bro.
Maybe, yeah.
They ride PBD.
Yeah, but, you know, it might take us longer.
Yeah.
Since
it's
we
going
don't
to
have,
do,
but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. The thing I also thought about hard times, bro, that makes it tricky for people is when you're not doing well, when you're failing at life, failing as in you're not seeing a lot of success, is people around you are telling you, what are you doing? They're like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is not making you any money. It's not making you, you know, a better person. You're just like, sure, your skill might be growing.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing the monetary results of that. We're only seeing expenses after expenses.
Right.
And people then start to get in your head. They're like, hold on a second. Is this really the right thing for you? Or you could just do another job. You could do something stable. You could do what most people do.
Yeah.
But at those times, that takes a lot of grit,
courage,
and courage to stand up and be like, no, faith in myself. I believe in myself, and I believe in God, and God has given me this ability to overcome these hard times, persevere through, and reach the pinnacle that I want to get to. Very hard to do. Easier said than done. Most people, I honestly think, that's why they can't get through the hard times, is people around them get in their heads. It's psychological.
It's true. Alex Hormozzi has this thing that he says. He says when you start a project, right, if it's entrepreneur, you start this business, everyone's going to come around you and say, yeah, you can do it, Alex, right? And then you start doing it, and now you have some mild success, and you're in the midst of it, right? Everyone kind of like, oh, okay. And then the praise and the accolades and everything, they kind of like start dissipating, and people are like, oh, this guy thinks he can actually do it. We're just being nice. And then when you're at the top and when you're really doing it, the people come back. We knew you could do it. You did it. Congrats, buddy. Remember when I used to tell you this? Remember when I used to tell you that when you first started? But it's that middle ground. That middle ground is the true tell of who your true friends are, who your true people are, and if the people around you actually believe in you, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
For some people in the beginning, people are not nice at all. For some people, they just have the hard.
Yeah.
They just have a hard run from beginning to end. Except at the very end, right before they finish the marathon, everybody starts to come around them and hug them and be like, "Yo, you did it. I always knew you could do it. I never told you that, but I believed it in the depths of my heart."
Dude, life is very weird, man. My dad used to tell me this when I was younger. He said that once you start having some success, people want to hop on the bandwagon. And people want to be around you, right? And I was like, okay, like whatever. And not that I have any success at all, but it's very weird, dude. I mean, I have a 2,000 square foot building, right? It's decent.
You tripled it in a year, less than a year.
9 months, right? So there's something here. Right? I have probably had 6 or 7 people come to me and ask if they can do something with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's something of value you can bring, for sure. But Alex says all the time, you have to have value if you're bringing something, or else why am I going to give a piece of my hard-earned money? Dude, it's not even about the money. Honestly, it's not about the money. What it's about is those hard times I had to go through that whole year. I didn't work building pallet dudes. A lot of uncertainty, bro. What is there on pallets? It looks like a bunch of shit. It looks like a bunch of returns. You don't see much at all on there. And you have to figure out how do you turn thousands of dollars of returns into actual money, right? And you have to risk that money. You have to risk that time in order to put it there, right? So at the end of the day, what people are like, I guess my point in this is, you have to have some value if you're trying to go in and join somebody, right? You can't be one of those guys that comes in at the end and says, "I believed in you. Now what can you do for me?" Because like, what do you mean? What can you do for me? Actually, that's the question you should be asking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that I think applies more to business. You know.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it could apply to the arts too, bro. If you're a director and your friends are actors and producers,
But
they want to
actors
jump
always
on.
want roles. You know,
Regardless,
just like any actor you meet, they're like,
regardless.
if you think of
Yeah.
something, let me know, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No, that's
even
true.
if you're the shittiest director,
Yeah.
any
That is
actor will come up to
100%
you
true.
and be like, yo, if there's any role, let me hop on.
Dude, actors have something, bro.
This is all.
Now that you're
I'll
saying
give it to
this,
them, man. Yeah.
They have to do it, bro. Actors have something called sales breath. Have you heard this before? Salesmen have this thing, bro. It's like because they're looking for the commission,
Yeah.
right? They're looking, oh, how can I get this guy's
Yeah.
money into my pocket? It's the same concept. How can I get myself into this guy's movie? They have sales breath, bro, and they'll just go straight up and say, hey, we just had this 2-hour conversation, but if you ever have something, hit me up. And every single person I've met that's an actor, bro, they always say this, dude.
Yeah.
Even comedians. They're like, I'll be on your little short film or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be on it.
Yeah. Because people recognize in Hollywood, it's a hustle, man. The
It is
more
tough.
you get seen, the
Yeah.
more the odds of you being successful. But I actually disagree with that.
Okay.
I actually think it's important to do stuff, if you're in Hollywood, to do projects and do stuff that you truly believe in and that are creating some sort of an impact, some sort of a story. It doesn't need to be profound, but it moves the world forward in a tiny little step. Even if it does that, that's okay. Like,
That's your perspective, though.
that's my opinion. A lot of people don't believe that,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, like, that's more important. Because at the end of the day, let's say you've done 100 short films and all of them are just below average or average.
Doesn't matter.
But if you do one amazing
Yeah.
short film, that will live out for decades, if not, a lot more time than that.
100%.
The other thing though about hard times is we've touched on this a little bit, but it's also, I think, you need to have goals that are selfless. That doesn't mean that you can't create a business or learn the guitar or get better at fast bowling and cricket. As long as you realize that whatever your aspiration is can actually help people more than just you or your immediate family and friends. For example, like I was thinking about this the other day, how is me playing cricket gonna impact people? But I was like, hold on a second, no, because there's a lot of people who move here from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or even the UK, even Australia, that give up their dreams of playing cricket. But then they're like, how is this possible for me? But then once somebody does it, they start looking up to that person.
What's happened with you?
That's what happened to me. So that the job of you, let's say you get inspired by someone, your job, I think, becomes to inspire the next person and just keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
Like the video you sent me on Instagram the other day of Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was an addict, basically homeless.
Yeah.
He acted in a lot of movies, so people knew him.
Yeah.
But Mel Gibson gave him a house, fed him, and told him, I don't want anything in return. The only thing I ask for you, Robert, is do this for the next person. And I think that should be the goal of any successful person. Make the path more feasible for the next person.
Yeah.
And just ask them to do, just pass the torch.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, dude. It's what Mel Gibson did, dude, that's pretty cool, man.
That's amazing.
Everyone forgets where they came from, bro.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody recently. It was about business, but when you're in sales, man, and you're going through the trench, and eventually in sales, right, you realize I don't want to do this, and you want to go into management because you don't want to go through sales anymore. But once you're in management, a lot of people forget what it was like in the trenches of sales, right? And they give you, oh, just do this, as if it's that easy, right? It's a very similar concept, dude. A lot of people that have success, they just forget where they came from.
They forget where they came from because I think a lot of them don't self-reflect on what it took. Like, a lot of people become successful and then they don't want to look back on the hard times. But I actually think, I'm not saying to live in the past, but you should ponder over your past.
You should.
The times, like, you forget. Like, my family, my mom, me and my 2 sisters used to be on welfare when we first moved there.
Yeah.
And, like, there's been times where I've acted like I've forgotten that completely. I was like, hold on a second. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, whoa, like, let's take a step back and let's look at the journey.
Right.
You know, because the destination, if you keep doing what you're doing, the hard work will pay off. I truly believe that. Hard work pays off as long as you are smart about it as well.
Right.
But then once you get to the destination, you can get lost. That's why, like, so many successful people still feel lost. They're like, whoa. Because I don't think they're looking over how long the journey has been.
100%.
Like, they didn't just get this Oscar or this car
100%.
or this house or this partner position at a company. This took a lot of hard work.
You have to appreciate the journey.
Yeah.
That's part of it, dude. Just like you said, man. Everything takes time. Everything takes energy, takes experience. But as soon as you forget it and like start to feel like, oh, actually, I grew up like this and this is going to be my reality forever. It's not true. Anything good can be taken from you at any moment, man. That's so true, dude. How many people have become rich and successful? Dude, how many professional NBA players, professional NFL players, professional MLB players have zero right now? I think the statistics is 80 to 90% after they're done with their career, they're back at normal jobs. They forget where they came from, they spend all their money, and then they realize, oh shit, now I'm screwed because I wasn't that good of an NBA player. I don't have a lasting legacy, right? And so all this stuff can be taken from you at any moment. But if you remember the hard times, if you remember the times where you were struggling and you were playing baseball every day, hours and hours a day, right? Or if you were building your business hours and hours a day, or you're in front of the mirror acting a scene out for hours and hours a day, if you remember this stuff, it makes you humble and it makes you appreciate where you are even more. And if you appreciate where you are even more, you don't lose hunger either.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Because for athletes especially, this is something I think people should talk about more is so there's some skills and some career paths where you can only do it for a certain period of time.
Shelf life.
For example, they have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Good, that's a good terminology. So some career paths have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Modeling is one.
Right.
I think sports is probably the biggest because your prime as an athlete is 18 to 29. Maybe I'll say 30. 18 to 30. Let's say 18 to 30. After 30. I mean, unless you're LeBron James. Unless if you're LeBron James or Tom Brady, you know, these are like anomalies, bro. Nobody has ever heard of a LeBron James career in the NBA. It just doesn't exist. At the age of 40, putting up those numbers, no one's done that.
Yeah.
But my point is, if you're an athlete, you need to have a passion in something else as well that you are aware of that you want to make it a career. Let's say you love basketball a lot. That's fine. And you want to do it for the rest of life, the rest of your life, you can. You can be a commentator. You can be an analyst. Just work on your communication skills. That's why a lot of NBA players have podcasts these days. I think because they're honing their skills.
I didn't even know they did.
Yeah, Draymond Green, Iman Shumpert. I think there's a bunch. I think what's his name? Michael Porter Jr. also has one. There's a lot of podcasts.
They should capitalize on their talent, their name, 100%.
They should do that. Yeah. And any athlete, gymnastics, javelin throw, literally any field is. You have a shelf life. After 35, you're not going to be the same person you were at 18. Yeah. So realize you need to work on some sort of a skill that can make you some sort of money so that you don't completely lose your mind.
Right.
Because a lot of athletes just give their everything to their sport. And when they retire, they feel like crap because they're like, it's gone. Like, it's over. Yeah. And like they can't go back to it. That's literally the only you can't go back to putting up those numbers. Like a lot of fast bowlers, bro. Yeah. They have short careers because you can only bowl 165 kilometers per hour ball for a certain period of time, which translates to 100 miles an hour, bouncing the ball, which is very hard to do. You can only do that for 5-6 years. You can't do that for 15 years. You can't. Your body will give up. I've been playing cricket 2 months, and my body hurts in every single portion of my body, bro. I've never felt this kind of pain. It's
so you can
insane.
only lose for 5 or 6 years.
If fast bowling, the thing is, I'm not even bowling 160 kilometers an hour.
What do you
right
bowl?
now.
How fast?
I got a speed gun. I'm gonna test it. I don't know exactly. Yeah, it was kind of
Unless you're Kobe Bryant, right? Because Kobe Bryant gave everything to basketball.
No, hold on a second.
What did he do?
So Kobe was a great storyteller. He was
Yes, but this
obsessed
was
with films.
after.
No, he used to write. So I love Kobe, bro. Yeah, so Kobe used to write a lot during his basketball career. He always knew that this was his like second big love, and he is actually one of the few athletes that didn't miss basketball after he retired. He talks about this. He's like, yeah, I always knew storytelling was my passion. So he made a film. He got an Oscar. He made a
Academy
short
Award.
animated,
Academy Award.
Yeah, Oscar, same thing.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oscar and Academy Award are the same. They're synonymous. Gotcha. But he got an award. It's called Dear Basketball, and it's a film about letting go of the love of basketball. But he tells it through the story of an animated character that's him.
Wow.
So he knew. He was smart about it, bro. Kobe is so smart. He knew storytelling was his passion.
It's awesome, bro.
He made a production company. He wrote books. He did a lot.
Did you see what Ronaldo recently did with YouTube?
What did he do?
Bro, he's broken every single world record. He's at 40 million subs in a week.
So what is he doing with the YouTube channel?
Random videos. Like I don't watch any actually, but random videos. Like some is like, watch me do these free kicks, and then another's like, me and my wife are gonna go shopping. Just random stuff. But that in itself probably will take over his income from soccer. From YouTube, 40 million subs that quick.
That's a lot. Yeah.
He said that he's coming after Mr. Beast.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
300 million. Dude, Mr. Beast took him 10 years in order to get to 40 million, I think, right? Something like that.
The thing, bro, about the YouTube subscribing chasing game is I think like numbers don't say a lot, you know, because like you could do things that are super famous. Like you can get fame in a lot of different ways. Like a lot of these YouTube videos are very like clickbaity. It's geared to get more views, not quality. I don't think the thing is, sure, you need to have some sort of message and theme. I'm not saying they're all terrible. I'm just saying like it's a number chasing machine.
It is, 100%.
And the numbers are not telling the story, you know. I don't. That's not the path for.
It's chasing quick clout. That's really what it is.
Yeah, just like numbers. Like sure, that takes a lot of work. I'm not saying it doesn't take hard work. Sure, but it's just like I don't see the beauty in it. I don't.
It's
see
a different path.
A different path.
If you want the numbers and you want that quick money, I mean, you can go for that path, right? But if you want longevity, then you have to build. I think first off, you have to build a strong personality and strong character in yourself. And then I think an audience will come, right? Because then they'll understand and appreciate you as a person because you can now appreciate yourself. I mean, YouTube isn't easy, bro. YouTube isn't easy. But I don't think it's all clout, all YouTube.
Yeah, it's not all
Ronaldo,
clout.
I think he has true fame. And now he's just capitalizing on his fame.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with what Ronaldo's doing. Yeah. Sure. But so, for example, Mr. Beast did something in the very beginning. He used to say the names of people for like hours on end, right?
Bro, this guy's done so many insane.
I respect his hustle. Yeah, right. Like he's done a lot of like just saying the names of celebrities for hours on end.
Yes.
And just doing records that way.
Yes.
Again, I understand what he's trying to do. It's just not the path for me or you. Like I'm not gonna sit up and say Ronaldo's name for hours on end just so we get 1,000 more subscribers. Sure, we might get them. You know, because it's so ridiculous. But ridiculousness doesn't amount to true success, in my opinion, regardless of what the numbers show.
Mr. Beast has true fame.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure. But I don't think
it's just his path.
Yeah, like
I'm not down to put that work in. I'm not down to go in front of a camera and say Ronaldo 1.5 million times.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm willing to take a little bit longer and grow a true audience that truly appreciates what we do.
I agree.
Yeah.
People resonate with stories. Like we're building our story through these episodes that we do on different topics, the guests we interview. We're growing as people. We're getting better at podcasting. Yeah. We're not professionals yet, but we're on the path to become professionals. Because there is an art to podcasting.
There is, 100%.
Anybody can pick up a mic, sure.
Yeah.
Podcasting mics are very cheap, which makes it accessible for so many people. That's why there's thousands of podcasts out there.
Yeah.
And stop commenting. Make podcasting equipment more expensive. Stop it, bro. There's already enough inflation. But my point is, podcasting, just because it's so accessible, doesn't mean it's easy. Just like basketball. Anybody can pick up a basketball and shoot a basketball.
Dude, the thing is, just because we have a podcast, we're not saying we're good at it.
Yeah.
That's
well,
not.
I think we're good at it. I do think we're good at it.
I think there's a lot of potential for this podcast.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we're doing it. We're learning every day.
Yeah.
We've had so many on the topic of hard times.
Yeah.
We've had so many hard times with this podcast, bro. We've probably scrapped, I guess thinking about it, if we have 40 podcasts, we've probably scrapped
5 to 6 episodes.
5 to 6 episodes.
Yeah,
That's
like
a huge percent.
That's 10 hours.
Yeah,
almost.
that's almost 10%.
Yeah.
Right, of our podcast.
And there's been times where our sound quality has not been the best.
Right, and sometimes we have to post in order to keep that consistency.
We have to post.
I mean, it is what it is. You guys will see it, and one day, from now, we've seen, and that's the thing. We've surpassed these hard times, right? We know now how to have better sound quality. We know now how to have better lighting and how to speak better. There's been times where we don't even really know what we're saying, right? And we just like, wait, what was I just saying? We've had times like that. It's all a work in process. Right?
It's a muscle memory.
Yeah.
In our brains, we're literally enhancing neural connections that allow us to speak better, communicate better, process information better, organize this better.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of our brains. We're just strengthening muscles, and that's also something people fail to realize. Psychologically, it takes your brain some time to figure some stuff out.
Yeah.
Like I can't bowl. I don't know if I'm saying ball. I can't bowl 160 kilometers per hour in 2 months. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I thought I could. I was like, yeah, easy. Everything looks so easy because that's the beauty of professionals, right? Like Joe Rogan makes it look easy. Joe Rogan makes it seem like you could be the next big Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
like he makes you feel like, because he makes it look so seamless. Yeah. Fast bowlers, Brett Lee, Shoaib Akhtar, these are two of the fastest bowlers in the history. They make it look so seamless because there's a rhythm to it. But the end always looks sweeter than the beginning.
100%.
Everything tastes amazing at the end. You know, when you finish the marathon, you're like, oh, it's over.
And you have to truly enjoy something, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You truly enjoy cricket, then play cricket. If you don't truly enjoy it, it's going to make the process a lot more bitter.
And for some people that are in that weird stage of uncertainty, that don't know what to chase or pursue, there has to be something that makes you emotional. You know, there has to be something that makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Like when I step into a cricket field, bro, it makes me feel alive. Like I have literally cried at times just stepping onto the cricket field. Cried. I'm not making this up, bro.
I believe you. I believe you.
When I went to watch the final of Major League Cricket, the first ever time they held it last year. Yeah, like Jenish didn't notice this, but I got emotional. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, wow, incredible. Because we could just, bro, we got press passes, so we could walk anywhere we wanted. We were like, backstage with the players' families. We were in the press rooms. We could go anywhere we wanted. So it was cool to see that anything you put your mind to is technically possible, bro. Anything you put your mind technically is possible, bro. It's just literally, you have to believe that you're good. Like, I sincerely believe we're good podcasters. That's why the podcast will reach 50 million people by 2030. Yeah. I truly, sincerely believe that. You know, like, to a lot of people listening to this might sound ridiculous. They might comment that same thing again, make podcasting equipment more expensive. They might prey on our downfall. But I truly believe if we keep doing what we're doing, and the thing is, we can't be complacent now. We can't be complacent. I think that's a good thing. We're always looking for ways to improve the podcast. Yeah. We're not saying this is perfect. This might change.
It will change, yeah.
It probably will change.
We're going to add stuff, and we're going to do different things, and we're going to make it better.
Yeah, we'll have on, a variety of different types of guests as well.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think we've had pretty decent amount of, like...
Internal to guest ratio is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's 1-to-1, basically.
And I think we've had guests who think differently. Not all of them are the same people, you know?
Most of them aren't. I mean, nobody's the same person, right? Everybody has their own personality,
their own story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also plan to have, like, debates. So people with differing viewpoints live on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is
interesting. Let's keep the ideas
to ourselves.
Yeah. Let's keep the ideas to ourselves.
Well, that might happen next week.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Probably will.
Yeah. Hopefully. God willing.
Yeah, man. I think conclude it, right?
The last thing I will say is just on that point. The advice to somebody. I was saying advice to somebody who doesn't know what to chase. I would say find something that makes you cry or makes you super happy. Like, just find the emotional extremes and then try to see if you're good at them. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I'm serious. Like, because, bro, I was talking to somebody yesterday at a park with my sister.
Yeah.
This guy, he's telling me he works somewhere, but everybody has a dream and passion. So his dream was acting. He was like,
Yes, bro.
he
Everybody.
was like, dude, I took acting classes for a year and a half, but life happened. I think some family stuff was happening where he lives, with his dad or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see in his eyes, like, he wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
Like, he was talking to me about movies, and he was naming me movies that I haven't even seen. I was like, what movie is this?
Yeah.
And he was just, the way he was talking to me about movies, I was like, oh my God, there you go. That's somebody who truly enjoys it. But he's like, his dream is to quit everything and chase acting full time. But he's right, life happens.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that. But you can take small steps to chase that dream. Just because you can do something full time doesn't mean you can actively pursue it in small steps. Because taking one small step forward for 1 year is better than taking no steps at all.
100%.
People forget that.
Yeah.
Because our brains are wired to be extreme sometimes.
Yeah.
It's either you do it or you don't do it.
Right. That guy has the wrong mentality, man. If you want something bad enough, nothing's going to stop you from getting it. You have a job. I think, in my personal opinion, everybody needs that day job. Everyone needs to be feeling okay on the day-to-day. They need to feel like, oh, okay, I have money. At least I have a home to live in. At least I have food on the table. You feel comfortable in that way where you don't have to stress about survival, right? But with that extra time you have in every day, some people want to relax. They're like, oh, I'm tired from the job. Well, buddy, if you want it bad enough, if you truly want to be an actor, then you got to go act.
Yeah.
You got to be in these classes, the ones that he was doing for the year and a half. If he doesn't pursue it, that year and a half was a waste. That's just what it is.
If he quits it completely.
If he quits it completely, it was a waste. Why? It doesn't have to be a waste. You don't have to do acting classes. You can start, doing skits on your. We know actors that have high Instagram following because they do skits.
Yeah.
It's something. Maybe they're not actors, but they're doing something in order to go in that direction.
Yeah.
You don't need to quit your dream just because you have a job.
I agree.
It's like, that's not focused on enough, man. Like you were saying in the beginning of the podcast, a lot of young people don't believe the American dream is possible. It's because of that, man. They think just because in college when they had that free time to pursue their passion and it didn't work out, now after they have to find a job and they have to quit. That isn't the truth. Being in college, being a young person, that's just the beginning. You don't know anything about life yet. We still don't know anything about life yet. We're 23, man. We're turning 24. We know almost nothing about nothing, dude, right? But it's what we will learn on the way, not giving up, laughing at the haters, right? Keep going when people say you suck.
Yeah. The 18 to 26 age is so important because this is the only time where you can be wild in your dreams. You could do 5 different things.
You can.
Just do it.
Yeah.
This is the only time where you can do it, technically speaking.
You can.
Especially if it's like a physical, like a athletic dream of yours, you have to do it in your young years.
If you're 18 to 26 and you have a few different passions, right? What you should do is, in my opinion, there's one that's going to make the most sense, the most plausible. Put most energy into that one dream. And then the others, you can continue doing them, right? Because eventually something will work out. If you keep going and you're 20, you don't have to stop at 26, but if you start within that age and you keep going on these dreams, something will work out.
I think there is a way to balance multiple dreams.
There is.
There is. Like,
you just have to have that mentality, bro.
Yeah.
You can't have that mentality in your free time. You're going to go chill, you're going to go party, you're going to go to the bar and drink, take the edge off. If you want something in life, man, you're always going to have the edge. That's the beauty of risk-taking. That's the beauty of hard times, of wanting to do something that everybody else cannot do. It's because they always have the edge on.
Yeah.
They're never comfortable.
I'm glad we brought this point up because to overcome hard times, you need to sacrifice.
Yes.
That's non-negotiable.
It is.
If you want to get through a hard time, you're going to have to make certain sacrifices in your life. It's up to you to pick and choose. So let's say you're spending most of your time going out and meeting people and just doing stupid stuff. And if you really want to pursue stand-up comedy instead, you're going to have to stop doing that for the most part. Like, if you truly want to commit to something, whatever it is, you have to pick and choose to see where you're spending most of your time. And if you're having a lot of fun, odds are stop that, pursue the harder stuff, which is not going to be as fun, but you need to make sacrifices. That's just like... You can't, there's no shortcut around that. You have to pick and choose, and it's okay to not be doing what most of your peers are doing. Because kids our age, what are they doing? They're going out, they're meeting people. Whereas there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
But, like, that's fine. That's their path. But if you want to be part of the 0.001% club, the Kobe club.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to hustle.
Yeah.
You're going to have times where you feel like life is hell. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in something beyond God, preferably,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. At the end of the day, you'll reach that end of the marathon, and then you'll look back. Hopefully you keep looking back, and you'll be like, wow, everything worked out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah. Regardless of what you do, you're gonna miss something, man. That's the way it is, man. If you spend your time when you're young partying and living it up, you're probably going to miss some type of success later in life, right? If you work hard your youth and you make it, you're probably gonna miss the times that you weren't able to party, you weren't able to go and do wild things, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what you do in life, bro, you're gonna miss something. So pick wisely. I think for us, it's easy to say look at life and do things that are a net positive rather than a net negative, right? I think it's difficult for a lot of people to comprehend because you are a sum of the people that you hang around.
Yes.
Right? So it's very difficult for people to look at their life and say, hey, this is a net negative because everyone around them is doing that thing. It's okay to grow up with people that don't have the same aspirations as you. You just need to start pursuing it. Once you start pursuing it, you will meet people that want the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Right?
It's okay to be different. There's nothing wrong with being different. A lot of people get scared because they don't see anybody around them doing that.
Right.
Because they're like, is this really what was meant for me?
Right.
That's where courage comes in that we talked about.
Yes.
You need courage. You need faith.
Yes.
It's okay to feel alone. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in feeling alone and lost.
There's nothing wrong with it. My point to finish up is if you have that group, right, that doesn't want to do much and it's hard for you to have that frame of mind of net positive and net negative, what you need to do, just to put it in more layman's terms, is really compare yourself. A lot of people say don't compare yourself. You're not the same. No, compare yourself. Compare yourself to people that are better than you. Or did they do the same things that you're doing right now? And if they didn't, then don't do it.
Yeah. I would say just compare yourself to yourself. You're always the best example.
But you can't. That's the problem, bro, because when you compare,
I see what you mean, yeah.
When you compare yourself to yourself, when you're around people that are doing the same things you're doing, you're going to feel like you're doing better than them. You're going to feel like, hey, I'm doing great, that this is my life's mission. Like, hey, these guys think I'm dope. These guys think I'm the man.
In that instance, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. In layman's terms, I'm not saying, like, I personally believe that we have a different frame of mind.
Yeah.
We're able to see, most people don't even know what net negative and net positive means. We're able to see that.
As a mindset, though, I think my point is, as a mindset, just always compare yourself to yourself. And long term.
Yeah.
But short term, yeah, you need to look up to people and be like, yo, this guy's doing way better than me. Why? Why is it?
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay to, even later, bro, it's okay to compare yourself to people better than you. There's nothing wrong in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be strong. You have to be strong enough to say, hey, this person is doing better than me.
You have to have a healthy balance because that can take you.
But that's where strength comes in. If you're not strong, then don't do it. But if you truly want to be, like if you're out there and you're trying to start the next e-commerce business and you need to compare yourself to Jeff Bezos, if you want to be the next Amazon, hey, it's funny now, but in 10 years from now, somebody's going to surpass Amazon.
Yeah.
It will happen. And if you want to be that person, then compare yourself.
I agree. You need to look at the top. Don't
Jeff
settle
Bezos,
for less. Yeah.
He's on a yacht right now, bro. He's jacked. He got complacent. Hey, don't get complacent.
True. I mean, no, he does do some stuff with Blue Origin.
He does. I'm not, bro. Come on. I'm not saying
mean,
anything bad about Jeff Bezos. I want to be a Jeff Bezos type myself, but there is some complacent. Mark Zuckerberg. There is some complacency once you gain success.
Yeah.
So don't get complacent.
It's very hard.
Compare yourself.
Yeah. There's an opportunity cost to everything. In economics, there's this term called opportunity cost.
Yes.
Where in order to do something, you're losing out on something.
Yes.
That's just a guiding rule behind life.
That's everything.
Yeah. That's literally the foundation, one of the foundation rules of life. There's an opportunity cost to everything. If I'm playing the guitar right now, I'm missing out on the opportunity to play the piano. But that's okay, because to me, playing the piano is not as important as playing the guitar.
Exactly.
In my case, I can't play neither, so it doesn't matter. But it's the thought that counts. All right. 100%. On that note, I think we can end the podcast.
Thanks, guys.